Welcome to Biome. I'm your host and narrator, Alex Zubin. Wherever you are in the world, I'm so glad you're listening today. This is our second story of Season 1. If you believe in good stories and in supporting the author of today's story, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends. Your support will help Biome have a great Season 1 and many more seasons of stories in the future. Our story today is called Find Me Again by Nissa Harlow. Nissa Harlow lives in British Columbia, Canada, where she dreams up strange stories and writes some of them down. Her short fiction has appeared in Ratbag Lit, Scary Stories Whispered in the Rain, and Tales from Crosstimbers. Now, let's live this story together. It looks like Earth, but it isn't. Thank the stars. The shuttle windows frame each scene like a painting, the transparent panels creating a dreamlike effect over the tableau of a new reality. The clearing we've landed in is peaceful. It looks like a place one might have a picnic. All that's missing are a bottle of lemonade, some exuberant children, and a few ants. We carry none of these things with us. There aren't any on the ship waiting for us up in orbit, either. But I don't think anyone is going to miss the ants. We check our gear, making sure we have everything we need before stepping outside. We won't be the first humans to set foot on this world. The lead research team's shuttle reached the surface a few hours ago, but our knowledge of this planet and its potential dangers is spotty. This mission weighs on us, metaphorically as well as physically. Heavy boots, slash-proof gloves, uniforms made of easily decontaminated fabric that smells like ozone and digs into the skin when it folds. One static sling each, just in case. In case of what? The worst? That already happened a long time ago. There's nothing here, no undiscovered danger or nightmare catalyst that could possibly scare me. Things tend to get put into perspective after your life as you knew it comes to an end. Anything that would require the use of a static sling is more of a mosquito than a vulture. Patil checks each of us as we stand in a tight clump, like excited kids on a field trip, getting ready to disembark their bus. He tugs on the straps of our packs, examines our gloves, peers at our boots. I notice that the top fastener of his jacket is undone. Unimportant. I say nothing. Without a word, he swipes the lock and yanks on the hatch's lever. The airlock slides open, allowing bitter nostalgia to flood in on the scent of pollen and petrichor. "Smells like home," Ackerman says. We knew it would. The unmanned missions, the drones, the scans, all of these indicated an Earth-like planet, albeit one without any trace of civilization. There are no structures, no monuments, just forests, plains, deserts, oceans. Mountains capped in snow, glinting in the light from a binary star. Not Earth, but close enough. Knee-high grasses, studded with bright yellow flowers, swish as we walk across alien soil. Approximately 10 meters away, a monochromatic shadow against the cloudless sky, is a stand of greenish-blue conifers. I suck in a desperate lungful. There's something sweet in the air. Relief, maybe. After so many weeks in orbit, anticipating, preparing, waiting, it feels good to finally set foot on solid ground. I can almost feel the energy of the place singing through the soles of my boots. "Let's get started," Patil says. "Holt, you're with me. Ackerman, Huang, get the relay set up, then start making camp. I want those shelters ready by sunset." Ackerman and Huang step away from the ship, towards the swirled circle of flattened foliage we created with the shuttle's plasma vents just before landing. The space will be free of insects now. Thank the stars. The stories about the shale louse infestation of Phi 36 landing party still make us itch in sympathy. I follow Patil toward the forest, clutching the straps of my pack, so my hands won't touch the flower-studded grass, even though I'm wearing gloves. We don't know exactly what kind of flora we're dealing with on this planet, either. Those answers will come later. That's the whole reason we're here. That's the official reason, anyway. Scientific. Some of us have our own reasons. Personal ones. Soon enough, Patil and I step under the cool canopy. Unknown birds giggle above us, their unusual song making me smile. I come to a stop as I tilt my head back to look and catch a glimpse of teal-feathered flight. Want to name it? Patil asks. I find him staring at me, an amused look on his face. Name it? I say. Why me? You spotted it first. I shake my head and continue walking. I'd need to get a better look. You don't want me saddling it with something totally stupid. Fair enough. He turns and leads me between the trees. They're not that dense, so we don't have much trouble finding a way through. Soon enough, we come to a clearing. Here? I ask. Affirmative. It's not as flat as I'd like, but that's what adjustable supports are for. We can look for a better spot. He shakes his head. I don't want to be too far from the shuttle. The electromagnetic anomalies we detected earlier might interfere with our comms. I thought EM spikes were only near the mountains. Mostly. It's probably something to do with the geology of this place. Regardless, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want to have to relocate everything if we're not getting proper readings. Do you? I do not, so I shake my head. We pull off our packs. I notice they're both dusted with yellow powder. So are our uniforms. Pollen, I say, brushing at the dust on my pack. My gloves leave bright yellow smears. Looks like it. Careful breathing that in. We don't want you getting interstellar hay fever on our first night here. Both amused and concerned at the thought, I try to be a little more careful as I unload the equipment. When we've got it all spread out, Patil starts assembling the pieces while I wait. Once he gets everything physically situated, it'll be up to me to get it working. Taking a moment to survey our surroundings, I notice a flash of movement in the trees behind him. My hand immediately goes to the static sling at my hip. My first instinct is to warn Patil. My second is to keep quiet. We don't know what kind of fauna we're dealing with here. Noise could spook it, make it aggressive. But it turns out I don't have to worry about warning the team leader. He notices my hand's movement and looks up sharply before following my gaze. He stands slowly. She peeks from behind a tree, nut-brown hair camouflaged against the trunk. My breaths are sharp. Patil takes one slow step backward, then another. My hand leaves the weapon and falls to my side. What is it? Patil whispers, half aiming his voice over his shoulder as he continues to step back. I don't dare speak. I can only point so I don't spook her. When she sees this, she laughs. The sound like the strange bird we heard a few minutes earlier. Halt! Patil whispers. He comes to a stop beside me. What is it? The question seems to hang in the air. What is it? What is it? What is it? My questions to the doctor echo across 5 years, almost 6. Their answer is swallowed by everything that came after. The girl doesn't seem to notice my distress. She steps out into the open, wearing the favored teal cardigan that eventually became part of her hospital uniform over the insipid yellow gown. The sweater is worn with overalls now, the pair with the knee patches in Chinese brocade. Her hair shines, her eyes sparkle, while my own fill with tears. Halt! You see her, right? Please tell me you see her, Patil. He's staring at me. I feel it more than I see it. I don't dare look away. If I do, she'll disappear. Juliet? I say. Patil clears his throat, and then there are 2 painful words hanging in the clearing with us. Your daughter? I can barely breathe, let alone speak. I know, I say. I know she's gone, but... The girl picks her way across the forest floor. Twigs snap under her shoes. I look at Patil. His eyebrows are high in confusion. Mom! My attention snaps back to the girl who's standing right in front of us. So close. And yet I know Patil doesn't see her. He can't. Whatever this is, this dream, this experience, this torture, it's reserved for me. She looks up at me with that canine-gapped smile of a tween, twirling the stem of a single yellow flower between her fingers. "Juliet? Here," she says. "Take it." I reach out and grasp the stem, fingers awkward in pollen-streaked gloves. My hand shakes, longing to touch her, but she pulls away. I raise the bloom to my nose. She giggles. "Careful, Mom." Her warning makes no sense. I breathe deeply. The world sweetens and flashes, colors intensifying, details sharpening. I can see the freckles sprinkled across her nose. I could count them if I wanted to. "Are you really here?" I ask. She shrugs. "Depends what you mean." "On this planet." "Not until you got here." "I don't understand." "Yes, you do, Mom. You just need to let yourself understand." She reaches out and brushes the golden petals with her fingertips. The movement shakes pollen from the blossom. "Find one of these, and you'll find me again." "Halt!" Patil says. I turn to him, eyes watering from the brilliance of everything around me. His expression softens. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." I gaze at the flower, then look for the girl, but the space in front of us is empty. My heart seizes. "You don't look fine. You don't sound fine. Head back. I'll finish setting up, and you can start the calibration tomorrow." "It's the pollen," I say. He lets out a little grunt. "The pollen? What about it?" "You didn't see her." He stares at me like I've lost my mind. Like he feels sorry for me for losing it. For losing her. I've seen that look too many times on too many faces. I shake my head and hold the flower towards him. "It's some sort of psychedelic." "What is?" "The pollen from these flowers." He looks at my hand. "Holt, you're not holding anything." I stare at the flower that I can clearly see. Then I let go. Rather than drifting to the ground, the blossom vanishes. "Head back to camp," Patil says. "Get Huang to check you out and send the scans up to the med bay. That's an order." I don't argue. I just nod, turn, and start walking. Between the trees, across the flowering field, I can see the shuttle as well as the partially assembled camp. A giggle echoes around me as teal wings flash in the periphery. I stop and turn. "Hey, Patil?" He looks up. "Yeah?" "Remember that bird?" "I do." "It's a teal-winged Juliet." He doesn't answer. He just smiles. I turn and walk away into the field, dragging my gloves through the flowers, letting the pollen paint my uniform with more yellow smudges. Colors ignite, turning the world into an impressionist, chaos-scented suite. Beside me, a girl runs through the grasses, giggling like the bird that now shares her name. Wherever you go, you take yourself with you. Variations of this phrase have existed for centuries, going back at least to the Middle Ages and likely much earlier. In this beautiful story, the narrator has traveled unimaginable distances to try and outrun the pain and grief of losing her daughter, a pain so raw and brutal no parent ever wants to imagine such an experience. And yet, when she gets there, that grief is an ever-present component of our main character in this story. It's so close to the surface of her mind that Juliet is the very first thing she sees when the psychoactive pollen engages with her mind. On a first read, Juliet's appearance feels like an incredible surprise. I know when I first read this piece, I thought the explorers might come face to face with a fearsome animal or some kind of unknown intelligence. That's often the more common and expected path for stories to take when they take place on brand new planets, and that absolutely makes sense. Instead, the author in this story doesn't just present our narrator with something familiar. Our narrator is faced with the most familiar person in her whole life, her daughter. Familiarity is an element of what makes this story really unique, I think. Instead of playing up how strange and alien this new planet is, the narrator thinks of it as so Earth-like, it's almost indistinguishable from the original. So much so that at the very beginning, she invokes the incredibly familiar image of a picnic with lemonade and ants to describe just how homelike this new world feels. Almost indistinguishable from the original. On a second read, the themes of grief and the foreshadowing of what's to come are even more profound. It's clear that our unnamed narrator is trying to run away from her past, from her pain. So when Juliet appears, she represents what the narrator both hopes for and fears most in the universe, another chance to see her daughter. We can feel the narrator's hope that maybe, somehow, Juliet really is there. That hope burns brightly for a moment, so brightly that the narrator is both literally and metaphorically blinded. But then she realizes that no, her daughter really is gone. But her memories will always remain. And with or without the power of the psychedelic pollen, the narrator can summon those memories. I love the symbolism of our narrator naming the bird after Juliet. In mythology all around the world, souls are said to take flight, and a spirit departing this life is often depicted as a bird. Our narrator honors her daughter's memory and perhaps begins the process of finally releasing her grief by bestowing her daughter's name on a bird who will fly, laughing Juliet's laugh as it soars across the sky. So, what did you think of this story? Email me at biomespec@gmail.com. You can also find the email in the show notes. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't done so already, remember to follow Biome so you can get each story as soon as it drops. Thank you for listening to Biome with me, your host and narrator, Alex Zubin. Until next time, farewell wherever the days take you.